Have you ever wondered where all the ice on our planet is hiding? It's not just in your freezer. Most of Earth's ice is stored in two gigantic ice sheets. One is way up north, covering Greenland, and the other is way down south, covering almost the entire continent of Antarctica. These ice sheets are incredibly thick, and, some parts are miles deep. Imagine stacking thousands and thousands of ice cube trays on top of each other. That gives you an idea of how much frozen water we are talking about. This ice has been there for a very, very long time, capturing little bubbles of ancient air. Besides these two massive ice giants, we have a lot of ice floating on the ocean. Up at the North Pole, there is a huge cap of sea ice that expands in the cold winter and shrinks a little in the summer. Unlike the ice in Antarctica, this ice isn't sitting on land. It's just floating right on the Arctic Ocean. It's like a giant frozen raft at the top of the world. This sea ice is super important for the animals that live there and for our planet's overall temperature, which we'll get to in a bit. It's a bright white blanket reflecting sunlight back into space. Then we have glaciers, which are like slow-moving rivers of ice. You can find them in high mountain ranges all over the world, from the Himalayas in Asia to the Andes in South America, and the Rockies in North America. These glaciers are formed when snow piles up year after year and gets compacted down into dense ice. Gravity then pulls them slowly down the mountainside, carving out valleys as they go. They are a critical source of fresh water for many communities downstream, melting just enough in the warmer months to fill rivers and lakes. So, when we talk about Earth's ice, we're talking about a whole lot of frozen water stored in different forms and places. From the colossal ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica, to the floating sea ice of the Arctic and the majestic mountain glaciers, all this ice plays a huge role in how our planet works. It's a massive, frozen reservoir that has shaped our world for millennia. Understanding where all this ice is located is the first step in understanding why it is so incredibly important for every single one of us. So, why should we care about all this ice? Well, it does a lot more than just keep parts of our planet chilly. Think of the ice as Earth's giant air conditioner. The bright, white surfaces of the ice sheets and glaciers are like giant mirrors. They reflect a huge amount of sunlight back into space. This is called the albedo effect. By bouncing that solar energy away, the ice helps keep the entire planet at a comfortable temperature. Without these reflective surfaces, Earth would absorb much more heat from the sun, and everything would start to get a lot warmer. Ice is also incredibly important for animals. Think about polar bears. They live on the Arctic sea ice, and they use it as a platform to hunt for seals, their main food source. Without that floating ice, polar bears can't hunt effectively, and they struggle to survive. It's their home and their hunting ground all in one. Down in Antarctica, penguins and seals also depend on the ice. They use it for resting, breeding, and raising their young, safe from predators that might be lurking in the deep ocean. The ice is a critical part of their life cycle. For people, ice is just as vital, especially those mountain glaciers we talked about. Billions of people around the world rely on the seasonal meltwater from glaciers for their freshwater supply. This water is used for drinking, for farming crops, and for generating electricity with hydroelectric dams. The glaciers act like a natural water tower, storing winter snow and releasing it as cool, fresh water during the hot, dry summer months. If those glaciers were to disappear, the rivers they feed could dry up, creating serious water shortages for countless communities. And let's not forget what's locked inside the ice. Scientists can drill deep into the ice sheets and pull out ice cores. These cores contain trapped air bubbles and layers of snow from hundreds of thousands of years ago. By studying these cores, we can learn about Earth's past climate, what the atmosphere was like, and how things have changed over time. It's like a frozen library holding the history of our planet. This information is crucial for understanding our current climate changes and predicting what might happen in the future. The ice is a scientific treasure chest. Now, let's do a thought experiment. What would happen if all this important ice melted? The most immediate and dramatic effect would be a massive rise in sea levels. All that frozen water currently stored on land in Greenland and Antarctica would flow into the oceans. Scientists estimate that if all the world's ice melted, the global sea level would rise by about 70 meters, or around 230 feet. That's taller than a 20-story building. It's an almost unimaginable amount of water being added to our oceans, and it would completely reshape our world. With sea levels that much higher, our world map would look very different. Coastal cities where millions of people live would be completely submerged. Places like Miami, New Orleans, London, Shanghai, and many other low-lying areas would be underwater. Entire countries, especially island nations like the Maldives, would disappear beneath the waves. It wouldn't just be cities. Vast areas of fertile farmland along coastlines and in river deltas, which are used to grow food for the world, would be flooded with salt water, making them unusable. It would be the largest displacement of people in human history. The changes wouldn't stop at the coast. All that fresh water pouring into the salty oceans would mess with major ocean currents. These currents, like the Gulf Stream, act like giant conveyor belts, moving warm and cold water around the globe and helping to regulate weather patterns. If these currents were disrupted or shut down, it could lead to drastic and unpredictable shifts in climate. Some places could experience extreme cold, while others might face more intense heat waves, droughts, and powerful storms. Our weather would become much more chaotic and extreme. Furthermore, the melting of permafrost, the permanently frozen ground in the Arctic, would release huge amounts of trapped greenhouse gases, like methane and carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, and their release would cause our planet to warm up even faster, which would then cause even more ice to melt. This creates a dangerous feedback loop, a cycle that accelerates global warming at an alarming rate. The world wouldn't just be wetter, it would become significantly hotter, making the problem worse and worse over time. The picture of a world without ice is a scary one, but it's important to remember that we have the power to change the future. Protecting our planet's ice is one of the most important missions of our time. It's not just about saving polar bears and penguins, as important as that is. It's about protecting our homes, our food and water supplies, and the stability of the world we all share. The ice is a critical part of Earth's system, and its health is directly linked to our own well-being. We need to act now to keep it from disappearing. So, what can we do? The main reason the ice is melting is because our planet is getting warmer, and that warming is caused by greenhouse gases we release into the atmosphere. The biggest source of these gases comes from burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas for energy and transportation. Therefore, the most important thing we can do is to use less energy and switch to cleaner sources. We need to embrace renewable energy, like solar and wind power, which don't produce the gases that are warming our world. You can start making a difference right at home and in your community. Simple things add up. You can help by turning off lights when you leave a room, using energy-efficient appliances, and walking or riding a bike for short trips instead of going by car. Reducing waste by recycling and composting also helps, because it takes a lot of energy to make new things and manage landfills. Talking to your friends and family about why this is so important can spread the message and encourage more people to join the effort to protect our planet. Ultimately, saving our ice requires a global team effort. We need our leaders to make smart choices that promote clean energy and protect our environment. We need scientists to keep studying our climate and engineers to invent new technologies to help us live more sustainably. And we need you. Every single one of us is a crew member on this amazing planet. By working together, we can slow down the warming, protect the precious ice at our poles, and ensure a cooler, safer, and healthier future for everyone. Let's change the world.